welcome to the December 2020 Yarkshire Gamer Wargames update. And lots of things going on in the Wargames room this last month. Filmed a little bit earlier this month, filmed on the 16th of December, mostly because I've got a long period of work running up to Christmas, so I'm not going to be available, and it also coincides with the start of the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge, which begins on the 21st of December. So I wanted to get this done before then, and then each monthly update will come just before the 20th of the following month, just so I can give an update on where we are with the painting challenge, which I'll talk about in a little bit more detail later on. But just as a start, I've got a little vignette that I painted for the Hobbies Challenge a couple of years ago, and it won't be used for anything else, but I just thought I'd show it off today. And this was a pair of figures that I think came from either Salute or Partisan a few years ago, and I had in my box, and I think the challenge was to paint something sport related or something similar. I can't remember exactly what it was, and these two figures jumped out of my lead pile as being the obvious ones for them, and I painted them up. Those of you who don't know the story, this is my little homage, if you like, to a chap called Jimmy Spears, who was Bradford City captain in 1911 when we actually won something, when we won the FA Cup final. And obviously 1911, you can see where this story is going to go. And Jimmy went on to volunteer in the Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders, and made his way up to the rank of sergeant. And unfortunately, he was killed during the Battle of Passchendaele in August 1917. Buried up in his native Glasgow, but will always be a hero here in Bradford for his being captain of the FA Cup final winning team, and also scoring the winning goal. And I thought it would be apt to use those two figures, because I'm sure Jimmy would have tried to get a game of football in against the Germans if he had any chance whatsoever. So there you go. There's the little introduction for today, and we'll move on to our usual sections now, and I'll have a look at what I've painted this month, from the lead pile to the painted pile. So here we go with the new units into Yorkshire Game this month, and there's only three. It's been a shortish month today, but one of them is fairly large. And the first one that we're going to have a look at is these guys. These are 28mm Punic Cavalry from First Corps. I've had these lying around for quite a while now, and with the upsurge in my Ancients project, I've put these together and got them out prior to the start of the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge, when I'm going to concentrate on my allied Italian Legion, which we're going to look at later on. Figures, as I say, are from First Corps, shield transfers from Little Big Man Design, and the relatively nice figures. I wasn't 100% sure when I finished them, but I'm getting to like them now. My usual oil painted horse style. And I've armed this unit with swords. I've got another unit of these to paint, and I'm going to paint those with spears, and quite nice looking actually. And they're going to go towards my big Punic Wars project that's been ongoing for 20 plus years, and I'm actually getting some traction on it now. So there's unit one, the Punic Cavalry. Unit 2 completed this month are these 15mm Plastic Soldier Company World War II Germans. And this is another company of figures for the ones that we've seen previously. If you remember last month, I talked about not being sure about the green on these, but I've stuck with them, so I've got a uniform battalion when they're all together. So really finished what I'm going to do now on the World War II curse stuff until I've done a bit more play testing, and then I can get an idea of what I need, how much more infantry I need, transports, etc. So that's on hold. That's the last of the World War II stuff for a while. You might see some after actions or playthroughs on the channel coming up soon. The last unit of painted stuff this month is these guys, and these are a 28mm new line design Indian cavalry, and I'm going to use these for my World War I Mesopotamia collection. And I have to say, really happy with these. 24 figures in the unit, which is, I laugh when I say unit because 24 figures is bigger than some people's armies these days. But there we go, that's a proper wargaming unit there. 24 figures of 28mm cavalry. I'll just zoom in if I can a little bit on some of those. I really like these guys. They have come out really nicely, and I wasn't sure when I got them out of the boxes, the horses and the proportions didn't quite look right, but now that I've painted them, I'm really happy with them. They come open-handed, so I've got metal pikes cut down to count as lances. Every picture I've got of the unit in action in the First World War, they didn't have any lance pennants, so that's why there aren't any on there. I would have preferred to have them. I think it would have really made the unit ping a little bit more, but there we are, historical accuracy, who'd have thought. The swords are plastic swords from a Gripping Beast plastic box set, so they're probably a little bit big, but I don't mind. And another thing on here that somebody on TMP or wherever will pick up, no doubt, is that I've not put the rifles on the side of the saddlebags, which is on the other side, which hence the photographing from this side. I was just having loads of problems with them sticking on and fitting with the lances, and my Wargames rules in relation to figures and tanks, if it falls off while I'm putting it together, it goes in the bin because it's going to fall off whilst we're playing with it. So there we go, that's my philosophy on that. So that's the third unit painted, and then there's something else new in the games room that you might have seen in the background. So let's go and have a look at that. So in the background you might see, again apologies for shaky cam there, you might see a big castle. This is new to the Wargames room, and a 28mm Crusader castle from Empires at War, a company that I've got lots of stuff from, and there is a separate YouTube video that probably out before this one covering the castle in more detail. So rather than me chuntering about that for an extended period of time, go and have a look at that video and you'll see it in action. It was £90 and it covers quite comfortably 1/3 of a 12x6 table, so well worth the value. Me and my lad put it together in 3 hours, so well recommended. I'm going to do, or in the future my plan is to paint it up. Not sure whether I'm going to keep it as individual sections or put it on one big base. Let's see how we go. But if there's any terrain makers out there who know how to do this sort of stuff, I'm looking for the Crack de Chevalier look, the limestone look from the castle in Syria, and that's what I'll be doing with this later on. So there we go, that's everything that's been painted or built, and there's a couple of new things into the Yorkshire Gamer room that we need to look at, so I'll bring those up now. Here we are with this month's work in progress, and there's a lot of stuff here, as you can see. And I mentioned earlier on about the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge, which for those of you who don't know is a yearly thing. It's now in its 11th year, where a group of gamers from all over the world get together around Christmas time over the winter months, and we just have a friendly painting challenge just to encourage each other to get through the winter months and the big piles of lead and plastic that we've built up over the year, and maybe got some extra plastic or metal over the Christmas period. It's massively varied in style. There's lots of there's fantasy stuff in there. There's Games Workshop stuff in there. There's historical stuff in there. All the scales, nothing's out of the box, and you don't have to be the world's best painter to take part. It's all about encouraging people to get on with the hobby and get some stuff done over the winter months. And over the years, I've really enjoyed my participation in it, and the Italian Wars Army that you may be familiar with was one of the things that came out of that challenge. So this year I've set myself my own little personal challenge, which is to complete an Italian Allied Legion, Ancient Legion, in 28mm at 20:1 scale in 3 months. And so that'll be 32 Velites, 64 Hastati, 64 Principe, 32 Triarii, 3 general bases, and 2 lots of 12 cavalry. So quite a lot. It won't get me, strangely, it won't get me to my points total of 1500 if I paint it all, which is a bit depressing, really. So I will be dipping in and out of some of the bonus rounds, and I think there's like a dungeon to go through with different challenges this year, which I shall have a look at this afternoon and do a bit of planning for. So here we go. Here's the figures laid out and ready to go. They've all been built. What you can do before you start is you can do your prep and get them primed, which I've done. The bases, sorry, not the bases, the shields aren't in the boxes. They're downstairs getting a second coat of white primer, so they're all drying at the moment, ready for their shield transfers, which will start going on the 21st of December. So there we go, that's a work in progress, and hopefully over the next 3 months you'll be seeing some of that in the from lead pile to painted pile. Watch. Welcome to the Yorkshireman's nightmare. It's that time when we've spent brass and bought stuff again, rather than shoving it under the ferret's cage. So this is what we've bought this month. Obviously there's the castle in the background, which I've kind of put in the wrong section, but never mind. And there's some stuff coming into the game of this month, but not a lot. I've been spending money on Christmas presents, etc. So the first up we've got these 2 vehicles for the 70s Cops and Robbers project, and they're both slightly out of time, but I've struggled really to get anything particularly that I wanted for the mid to late 70s, which is the time frame that I'm looking at. So I was after some stuff for scenarios for security people and a cash in transit van. So I managed to pick this vehicle up, which is one of the Vanguard series. It's probably 50s, early 60s, probably just slightly out of my time period, but I think it looks great. Little Security Corps patrol van when it comes into focus. There we go. And plenty of scenarios that I can work on with that. Didn't pay much for that, less than a tenner I think off eBay, so that's really nice. And then we've got this guy. This is probably early to mid 80s rather than any earlier, but again it's perfect. It's what I want. I wanted a cash in transit van, and this is the only one I can find. It's a Matchbox toy. God knows what scale it is, but it works okay with the figures, and beggars can't be choosers when it comes to this. Quite a few of them around on the internet. I paid £8 for this one. Need to be careful the stickers aren't too dirty. These are a little bit dirty. No box with this, which made it cheaper as well. And then there's a really cool feature on the back where it's got like its own little security coded inside that you can put these little trolley with some bars of gold on, which is ace. So they will feature in some of my Sweeney scenarios later on in the year. It also comes with a figure, which is, I'll keep it with it just for completeness sake, because that was part of the set, but it's massively bigger, would you believe, than the 28-32mm stuff that I've got going. So that's the first of the new stuff into the Wargames room. Next up new is some more Tiger miniatures. World War One Turkish. You remember last month I painted up 6 Turkish cavalry from Tiger Miniatures. So in here I've got enough cavalry to make up a unit of 24. So that's going to look good when that's finished. And I've also taken advantage of the slightly lower prices than Gripping Beast, and I've bought some guns. But a couple of 75mm Krupp artillery guns for the Turkish with crew. So they will be joining the World War One Mesopotamia collection probably around summertime, I would think, by the time I've got through other stuff that I'll get around to doing those. But there we go. Next new load of stuff into the Wargames room is these. These are 28mm Italian Wars from a Kickstarter. And the best bit about these, they cost me nout. One of my friends on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Gareth Lane, also known as Lord Raglan on Twitters and other posters, decided he didn't want to use some 28mm Kickstarter stuff that he got for the Italian Wars, with it being very close to some of the other periods that he plays, and very kindly offered them to me gratis. And me being a Yorkshireman, I went, right, we'll have them for now. And he sent them, and they arrived a few days ago, and lovely quality on them. And I'll try and put a link to the company because I've forgotten who they are. But there's some cavalry. Nice detail. I think they'll paint up really, really well. I think there's 6 or 8 cavalry. And we've got some lance necks, which I didn't particularly want to paint, but if they're coming for free, we'll have them. So again, there's the detail. I think these, we're better looking at these when they're painted up. And there's some artillery guys in there, some officers, horses, and some shot. So very kind of Gareth to send these to me, and I shall crack on with these in due course. I've just got obviously the ancient stuff, another couple of bits and pieces on the go at the moment. But they're nice, they're really, really nice. I think they'll paint up quite nicely, these guys. Looking forward to doing them. In return, I sent Gareth some spare stuff that I had. Hopefully they've arrived soon. Got some Afghan cavalry from late colonial period that I couldn't use because they were too early for my World War One stuff, and Gareth was Afghan, so I've sent those him, and a couple of sprues of stuff that I've got for projects that I know is ongoing. I love social media for wargaming. Politics, it's like a shark infested pool, and I hate it, and nobody can debate anything. Everyone calls everyone fascists at the first hint of disagreement. However, the Wargames fraternity has been fantastic, apart from Palm Tree Man. He was a bit of an idiot, and we've had a couple of over the years stalking Yorkshire Gamer, but Palm Tree Man sticks in my memory particularly well. So great, thanks very much, Gareth. I'll talk about you again in a second when I look at the next unit into the Wargames room. Final bit of new stuff into the Wargames room this month are these, and this is something I wasn't planning on doing, I have to say. But I've been talked into it by a certain Mr. Gareth Lane and a certain Mr. Chris Breeze. Have also had pressure on me in relation to this. 28mm Wars of the Roses, very close in terms of tactics, etc., to the Italian Wars, which you'll know I'm already very happy with, huge collection of. But the opportunity came up to take part in a Wars of the Rose Day, International Day, that's happening in I think it's March or May next year, I can't remember exactly. And there's a few games going on in various places, and I'd like to take part in one that's being organised, and rather than just turn up and complain about how much things cost down south, and how warm it is, and how I can't get food for my ferret, then I thought I'd bring some figures along. And I've always wanted a front rank army, and I've never done it. I remember going round Sheffield triples at the Octagon, and as a little boy looking up longingly at the stands. I'm a lot older than that, but you know what I mean. I love front rank figures. I think they look absolutely fantastic. But just over the years, I've never got around to buying any stuff for them. So I thought, if I'm getting bullied into doing some, I'll get a few units to take down to this battle, and then at least I've done my little bit. So I've got a unit of billmen, a unit of archers, and a unit of dismounted men at arms. I'm not going to say it's not going to get any bigger than that, because you know what happens at Yorkshire Gamer. You put one figure into a box and then you come back 2 years later and there's 500 painted 28mm figures, so it could go wrong. Let's see what happens with it. Sadly, no gaming again this month. A little bit of a shorter month, as I said earlier on, but no gaming, so there's no view from the front line this month. So just go straight into the numbers and just my personal look at the growth of Team YG. Again, it's not serious. And we're up everywhere again. Steady away on the Facebook, which is the longest presence of Team YG on social media. 20 a month, I'm happy with that. Steady growing away. Twitters, we're approaching 1,500 with a little bit of a jump on there. We've had a couple of shout outs from people from different areas, which is kind of where the growth is from me and there now. A lot of gamers follow me. It's more the painters and the war hammer people who pick up on stuff. So that's really great. Insta up 34, steady away. Nice to be over 700 with that. And the YouTubes, another good month, up 36. I've not put much on this month, and I'm hoping to get that to 1,000. Alex from Storm of Steel Wargaming got up to 3,000, so I've got a long way to go, but that's more than tripled this year, the YouTube, so I'm very happy with that. Once again, thank you everybody who interacts with Team YG, and thanks for your comments, thanks for all your likes and subscribes. It's really appreciated. Thanks a lot. So thanks very much for watching this December update from Yorkshire Gamer. Just leave you with the Yorkshire TV cameraman filming one of this month's new units, the World War I Indian Cavalry for Mesopotamia. Take this opportunity, as it will be the last update before Christmas, to wish you all a very happy Christmas and a prosperous new year. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I'm still wishing you a happy Christmas, because that's the kind of guy I am. I hope you get some quality time with your family, which I know is very difficult at this moment in time with the COVID. But fingers crossed, by this time next year we'll all be vaxxed up and gaming again. So thanks very much. I'll see you soon, and thanks for watching Yorkshire Gamer. Civvy.